The clock is ticking toward the opening of 2025 WNBA training camps, and one of last season's most electrifying scorers is watching the countdown from her couch instead of a practice court. Chennedy Carter can fill up a box score faster than you can flip the channel, yet every general manager in the league keeps hitting the mute button on her calls. Why? Because the hit she delivered on Caitlin Clark last June is still echoing louder than her 17.5-point scoring average. And in a league surging on new popularity, image matters as much as buckets. Picture the sequence that changed everything. The Fever had just scored, the ball was headed the other way, and Clark was jogging up court with her back turned. Carter, eyes locked on the rookie phenom, took a sharp detour, cocked her shoulder, and sent Clark sprawling. No chase-down block, no scramble for a loose ball, just a non-basketball body check in the middle of primetime television. Officials reviewed it, upgraded it to a flagrant, and the replay clip raced around social media before Clark even finished tying her shoes. Fast forward 10 months. Clark's rookie campaign delivered nightly highlight packages and historic eyeballs: 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, 5.7 rebounds per game, plus Rookie of the Year honors and a league-leading 23 nationally televised games that cracked the million-viewer mark. Meanwhile, Carter's phone stayed silent through free agency, through the combine, and straight into draft week. The same front offices that can never get enough offense from the perimeter have decided her 48.7% shooting isn't worth the chemistry headache. Carter finally broke months of silence on a live stream with gaming creator Neon, trying to recast the hit as just a little tap, even implying she might have been elbowed first. The video evidence says otherwise. There's no phantom knock to the ribs, no trash-talking scrum, just Carter changing lanes like a linebacker and Clark eating hardwood. Fans flooded the chat with laughing emojis and eye rolls. The clip that was supposed to soften Carter's image instead reinforced the narrative that she still doesn't grasp why coaches cringe at her name. Front office executives are tipping their hand in private. One veteran personnel chief told reporters he wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole, pointing not only to the Clark incident, but also to Carter's midseason suspension in Atlanta back in 2021 for conduct detrimental to the team. You can survive one bad moment in pro sports. 2 different locker rooms waving red flags becomes a pattern, and patterns scare away owners who've just inked richer national TV deals. The league itself is basking in record numbers. Average regular season viewership on ESPN platforms doubled in 2024, hitting 1.19 million per game. Clark drew ABC's 2 most-watched games ever and helped the Fever sell out 9 of 10 road arenas. Sponsorship dollars climbed, merch flew off the shelves, and arena crews scrambled to add temporary seating. Against that backdrop, any act that looks like a cheap shot against the league's new face becomes more than a personal feud. It's a threat to the bottom line. Carter's supporters argue she's being used as an example, that basketball is inherently physical, that stars from Bill Laimbeer to Draymond Green have made a living wreaking havoc on opponents. Fair points, but every era sets its own tolerance thresholds. What flies in a 1990s paint brawl doesn't play in a TikTok age where every elbow is slowed to 240 frames per second and dissected by millions before the final buzzer. The WNBA is chasing unprecedented corporate dollars. It can't afford grainy montages of cheap shots to dominate the algorithm. If Carter wants back in, the fix isn't just an apology, it's a rebrand. Teams aren't asking her to score less. They're asking her to show she'll stay available, coachable, and drama-free for 40 minutes a night. That starts with owning the mistake without qualifiers, embracing a defensive assignment, and maybe accepting a 6th woman role until trust is rebuilt. It means showing up to a veterans minicamp on her own dime, running every drill like it's Game 7, and letting whispers trickle out that she's the first to arrive and last to leave. Time is short. Camps open April 27th, and rosters are capped at 12. Rough math says roughly 25 guards will be cut before opening night. Carter has more raw talent than most of them, but talent isn't the final tiebreaker anymore. Reliability is. Coaches need to know that a 2-for-1 situation in crunch time won't devolve into a technical, that a hard foul won't escalate into a viral fiasco, and that leadership meetings won't get hijacked by social media storms. Time is short. Camps open April 27th, and rosters are capped at 12. Rough math says roughly 25 guards will be cut before opening night. Carter has more raw talent than most of them, but talent isn't the final tiebreaker anymore. Reliability is. Coaches need to know that a 2-for-1 situation in crunch time won't devolve into a technical, that a hard foul won't escalate into a viral fiasco, and that leadership meetings won't get hijacked by social media storms. Meanwhile, Clark's sophomore agenda is already grabbing headlines. She spent the offseason working with Fever assistant Ticha Penichero to shave a half-second off her pick-and-roll release. Early scrimmage footage shows Clark bombing logo threes and threading skip passes through double teams like a quarterback. She enters 2025 with a genuine shot at the first 20-10 season by a guard and could push Indiana into its first playoff berth since 2016 if her supporting cast holds. That upward trajectory underscores the risk for any defender looking to send a welcome to the league message. Every shove, every hack, every sideways glance at Clark this season will be viewed through the lens of what Carter did last year. League offices have already hinted at firmer penalties for retaliatory contact. Referees have been instructed to review off-ball collisions more aggressively. In other words, Carter's play hasn't just hurt her own stock, it's changed the officiating environment for everyone else. An irony hangs over the saga. Carter's game was tailor-made for the current WNBA tempo. She's ferocious downhill, lives at the cup, and finishes through traffic with either hand. In China this winter, she dropped 41 in a FIBA exhibition, torching defenders who aren't used to her relentless first step. That film made the rounds, but executives still shrugged. Flashy stats can't erase the perception that she's a wild card inside a huddle. So where does this leave her? Overseas contracts pay well but can feel like exile when the world spotlight is back home. Carter could headline a EuroLeague contender, average 25 a night, and still find GMs wary next spring unless she proves the off-court issues are resolved. The more sustainable path is swallowing pride, finding a veteran-heavy roster with strong culture, think Minnesota, Washington, or Las Vegas, and grinding her way into their good graces. Basketball history is littered with redemption arcs. Meta Sandiford Artest went from the malice at the palace to hitting the Lakers' title-clinching three. Liz Cambage's roller coaster resume includes all WNBA honors and abrupt exits, yet teams kept calling until the baggage outweighed the benefit. Carter's predicament sits at that crossroads. One public misstep, one tone-deaf interview, and doors keep shutting. One sincere mea culpa, one sweat-drenched training camp invite, and the narrative shifts to comeback story. For fans aged 16 to 55, the core demo you see in every ticket scan report, this standoff is must-see drama. Younger viewers chew up the social clips, middle-aged fans debate it on sports radio, and longtime supporters weigh sportsmanship against entertainment. Everyone loves a villain in small doses, but a year-long exile tips the scale from heel to hazard. Carter's next move will either turn her into the league's newest reclamation triumph or its cautionary tale. Clark, for her part, hasn't lobbed a single grenade back. She reminded reporters after the incident that, "I've played physical basketball my whole life," said her piece, and went right back to dropping no-look assists. That poise only amplifies contrasts. When your target brushes off the hit and still draws record crowds, grievances start looking like excuses. And that may be the final tipping point. Owners see jersey sales. Broadcasters see Nielsen spikes. Sponsors see superstar charisma without controversy. Compare that to a guard who can pile up points but also risk a PR crisis, and the math is brutal. The modern sports carousel rewards upside and punishes volatility faster than ever. Stability is currency, and Carter's account is overdrawn. There's still time, just not much. The first preseason game is 21 days out. Summer circuit scouts will be scribbling notes on rookie combos and backup point guard battles, and all Carter needs is one call, one 10-day contract, one chance to flash that crossover in front of coaches who value production over politics. But if she spends another month chasing narratives online instead of chasing cutters in practice, the league will move on. Basketball always does.